Last Epoch for me is what a jar of Nutella and vanilla ice cream is to, well, me. It's the perfect comfort food that really hits the itch of living the power fantasy of being the greatest aura farmer in the history of Iterra. The game has got parts to it that make it absolutely great and worthwhile, but it's also got parts to it that make me want to gouge my freaking eyes out with a wooden spoon. Figuratively, of course. So in this video, we'll be discussing everything I loved and everything I hated in the Last Epoch, because my opinions have to be polarizing for the YouTube algorithm, of course. So subscribe if you're new and let's get into this shebangies. I think the perfect way to kick things off is discussing the absolute power fantasy and ease of access that this game has, and it's just a treat to try different builds. The game is the definition of FUN, and that means fun, because the sheer amount of options and builds and skills is up there with the very best that the genre has to offer. It's also super easy to respec and does not cost a literal arm and a leg to do so one could change the whole build of one's class as easily as it is to, well, put Nutella on freaking vanilla ice cream like broski. If you haven't tried that, holy shit, so freaking good. And well, I'm getting sidetracked, I'm getting hungry also. And this build crafting would be an absolute treat to continue with for the rest of eternity if it wasn't for the absolutely diabolical crafting system in this game. Like, what the f am I supposed to actually be doing here? What are affixes, prefixes, and suffixes, and why do they all freaking rhyme? It often feels a bit too convoluted to just craft a single item. So much so that as a somewhat casual gamer, I'd much rather just stick to trusting in the RNG gods of old to bestow upon me the greatest piece of gear known to beast masters. What doubly sucks, and yes, I just literally made up a word, is the amount of suck fixes I get as loot drops. Like, the game really wants me to get comfortable crafting, but I'm about as comfortable at that as I am swimming in a pool of literal sharks with open wounds in my arms and legs. Like, that really just freaking hurts my stomach every time I try to learn a literal thing about the crafting system. Now, thankfully, one can overlook the crafting system in this game because the sense of progression is insanely good in Last Epoch. Like, for real, it doesn't matter if you play for 5 hours or half an hour. Every time I jumped in to clear a few maps, I ended up with some cool story to tell on the other side of it. The game therefore really respects my time, and I absolutely loved it for it. Some of us don't have hours to burn every day and still want to feel that oomph of progression slap you across the face with awesomeness, and Last Epoch does that really freaking well. It's a treat to clear the dungeons and progress the story, and you usually do so with relative ease, as the game wants you to constantly progress towards something and not slow you down with grinding and with the addition of freaking dinosaurs in season 3. Like, holy shit, that's so cool. On top of the nemesis system and the imprisoned mages, there's always some sweaty fight or two to look forward to, and I think I just said too many times too. Those are really enjoyable parts of this game, but it's a damn shame that they only come around once every freaking blue moon. Like, broski, when you said seasonal content, they meant it like that little freaking plastic cup of sauce you get with your fries when you order out. Acting like that would be enough to satiate my freaking appetite. God damn it. Instead of some other games opting for whole meals as seasonal content, man, I gotta stop talking about food so much. I'm getting freaking hungry. Most of the time, the new seasonal loot as well is locked behind a grind that you'll get once you hit it very close to the end game content. So I really dislike the idea that I got my T-Rex companion in the second to last map in chapter 10, only to see him cause all manner of wreckage for all of freaking 10 minutes. It's like they weren't sure if people would like the seasonal content, so they added a little some to dip your beak into that really freaking sucks for players who have played the game through multiple times already as well. Now, thankfully, playing through what there is of the campaign so far, it is a real treat. Like, the environments are a real joy to look at, in all honesty. You're in for a real treat in the final third of the base game, as you'll be traveling on giant birds, walking on freaking giant chains like you're Kratos or some shit, and hitchhiking on the back of a freaking giant turtle like you're, well, Kratos or some shit. Damn, I just realized that now. The portals to Jurassic Park is also cool as well, and the way the game takes you through the different seasons is just fun. What's even more fun is the idea of time traveling and seeing how the world changes in different eras. Like, that's something games don't often do, and it was really freaking cool to look at. And the environments as well would be all cool as frick to look at if the screen wasn't filled with constant bombardment of freaking particles, like explosions, enemies. Like, damn, am I supposed to get epilepsy from playing a game? Like, broski, I'm 32 years old. I got weary eyes, okay? My oculars aren't designed to be fed with so many things on screen at the same time. I sometimes lose all sight of where my cursor is, or my character, really, so I just hyper focus on my health to make sure I won't die while spamming literally every skill I have have on my bar. I mean, it also doesn't help that I'm a beastmaster, and so I already have a full squad of minions trying to chase those damn loot lizards in the middle of all the hecticness that is unfolding in front of my eye sockets. But I can't be the only one who has had to squint my eyes and act like that actually all of a sudden improves my vision as well. Like, what the hell? Like, why do we do that? But for real, man, in the final third of the game, it does get pretty damn hectic in terms of enemies and explosions on screen. Now, thankfully, it will not set your PC ablaze, and that has to be mentioned. Like, the game runs super well from start to finish, and only on a few occasions the frames actually dip to a point where my old eyes would actually notice, if I'm being completely honest. Your PC won't be screaming for the gods above when you're playing, and for those interested, it runs surprisingly well on the Steam Deck as well, so yippee for that! The game has been around for a while, so the requirements aren't up there with some of the more demanding games out there, but it is super nice to not fear that my children might wake up in the next room because my PC is humming like it's about to freaking take off the runway. The game runs so well that one could potentially be playing it for the long run, and upcoming seasons and updates only add to the base experience, which is great in itself, apart from, well, the freaking end game. Now, I'm not a big fan of end games in general, apart from the one I saw in the movies a while back, because that was just cool. I feel like the game overall just ends up being a mindless monolith run of eternity with the way that everything is laid out in front of you. That's not to say it's completely bad. I mean, there's just more of what most players want, which is more challenge and more schmackage, and if you're into that, then it's not really so bad. I mean, overall, it's not as bad as one might make it out to be, because the tweaking of the builds and finding perfect gear, it's all pretty fun actually. And subsequent runs, man, it makes it easier because you get the loot and it actually becomes... No, wait, this is a critique. I have to be very triggering and negative because that's what the algorithm wants, damn it. Look, overall, I gotta be honest, man, there's a lot to like, but also some things to dislike when playing Last Epoch. And while most quote-unquote casual gamers might not notice these things, and most other gamers might just completely disagree with me on almost every point, because that's what gaming is all about. The fact of the matter is that these are only my thoughts and experiences, so I do hope you let me know your likes and dislikes in the comments down below. And while you're at it, man, why not subscribe to the channel? I would really appreciate it, man. Your likes, comments, and subs help this channel to the freaking greatness of the tubes. But with that being said, what the f do I know? I'm just a casual gamer on the internet telling you that I enjoyed parts of Last Epoch and some parts I didn't. So man, like I said, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this game. What are your likes and dislikes? How did you like the video, this kind of format? Any and all comments take this video a long ass way to the greatness, as I mentioned already. If you want to watch me ramble on some more, then click this link right here. Watch me ramble on some more. God damn it, I just keep repeating myself. In any case, I don't really know how to end this video, so keep on trucking, my dudes. I hope you have a great day wherever you're from, whichever time of day you watch this at. Peace out.